music. There it goes. It takes 5 seconds for that to record. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Hi, this is Laurie.
This is Peter.
Here. Yeah. We're with Action Heroes LA with a new review.
Of
a review.
Civil Wars.
Of Civil Wars.
Well, yeah.
It's Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America.
No, it's a Civil War is a film, an A24 film that came out this year, a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. That had a bit of buzz going on. I think it was a lot of people talking about it, and we watched it recently, a few weeks ago. And you want to talk about? Well, it takes place. It's a what do you say? Future, present. It proposes what if America was having a civil war now.
Yes.
And although that's a bit misleading as well in terms of what the storyline covers. But what did you think of Civil War?
Yeah, well, actually, I really liked it.
Yeah.
At first when you told me about it, or just mentioned the name, of course I thought about Captain America and Iron Man.
Okay.
Then I thought about, well, wait a minute. You're talking back in Lincoln's days.
Oh, goodness. Civil War because of the American Civil War.
Said, well, no. It's a new Civil War.
Right.
Which all of America is, of course, having the Civil War. But the two states that have joined together is California and Texas.
Yeah, so
which is really ironic.
Yeah, I mean that's done intentionally by. Listen, this is directed. I'm thinking it might be written, directed by Alex Garland, who's done some really interesting movies. And I'm blanking on that. I've seen a few, and I usually like his movies. They're like sci-fi. He did the one about the girl who's a robot.
Okay. Yes.
And let me look him up. So
Ghost, right? No, she wasn't a ghost. She wasn't a robot.
Alex Garland. Oh my God, that's a great movie. Also, I can't think of. I see them. And
I thought that was a great story.
Okay, you know what? I think he wrote the movie Sunshine, which we talked about.
Okay. Yes.
Last year, the sci-fi movie.
Yes.
That was great until kind of end. It kind of like.
Yeah, kind of.
It doesn't quite help, but it's really good otherwise. So he's a filmmaker I really, really like. So I was looking forward to this, and he did not disappoint. I found this movie really compelling. It's the first really good movie of this year that I've seen. There's been some okay movies and kind of okay. Meh.
Well, I thought if we were to go really in depth on it, I was thinking, wow, California is more or less a blue state,
right? And
Texas, a red state.
Right.
Yet they got together, they found commonality.
Well, I mean, that's done intentionally. Ex Machina is the robot movie I was thinking of. And Annihilation is another movie I've seen. He's done a couple other besides Sunshine. Anyway, it's done intentionally because one of the things I heard about going into this movie is it's laid out so you don't guess what the current divide is in the United States, into the polarity in terms of politics right now.
Right.
The conservative and liberal movement, the Democrats and Republicans, and what they represent. So usually you would consider California as very liberal state, very blue, very Democratic majority, and Texas is a very mainly red state and very conservative. So when you hear them unite, they're united in this movie against And what is Florida neutral?
Florida was neutral, but I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. Yeah. So it was really weird.
So it was going in. He didn't want to color it with the current. He kind of wanted to imply some of those things, but didn't want you to, didn't want to say it was about one side or the other in particular. But there's some relatable things going on with the characters and the situation. Relatable. And what's and I think when a lot of people when I've heard people not like this movie, it's because it doesn't explain why America's in civil war, and probably because it's trying not to take sides. Or the sides that we are familiar with currently. But I really love this movie. I thought it was a great movie.
Yes.
There was really great acting, great concept, great execution. Just really, like I said, it was really compelling. It's more about a photojournalist.
Yes.
Covering the the war.
Yes.
And about what it takes, what it takes to be a photojournalist, what you have to give up to be a photojournalist. And that was really interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I found interesting in that as a premise, as a basis of the story, is that I had started more or less hearing about when you're in journalism, you don't become the story.
You're just there.
You're just reporting on the story.
You're reporting the facts of the story. No opinions. You're not there to take sides. You're just like, this is what's going on.
Right.
You decide.
Right. And they were, I would say, in a way, they were trying to be drawn into it, while still trying to maintain their journalism, but
their distance, so they can be impartial, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't draw conclusions, yet having to draw a conclusion was thrown on them.
Okay.
And they were steeped in it as much as they kept saying, no, no, no. Everything. Oh, my goodness, this was a movie.
It was. It's just a really, really well done movie, and there are some harrowing scenes in it that I really appreciate it. It's a tough movie to watch because there's some violence in it that's jarring, and sometimes I think there's violence in a lot of movies, but in a John Wick or any kind of typical action movie, we don't really care about the bad guys getting shot up by the good guys. We don't really feel anything about that. This movie makes you feel.
Yes.
It's intense.
Yes.
It has you kind of gripping your seat and feeling for the people in those situations, and has you thinking about what you would do in those situations.
Yes. Because there were people that you kind of said, okay, well, that person's on this side. Then this person's on this side. Then there are people caught in the middle. And stuff is happening to both sides and people caught in the middle that you just did not see coming.
The horrors of war.
Yes.
It's just a reminder of it. And there's no way I could depict any movie could probably depict the true horrors of war that people experience. But, there's a few out there that kind of can shake you up, like Saving Private Ryan. That first 20 minutes of that movie is just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Or, there's several. But so this one does a really good job, and interestingly, with a fictional war, but a very relatable one because, things are tense here, or, depending, what side of the divide are you on. It's like, why are we divided? And you can project certain, like the president is played by the actor Nick Offerman, and he usually plays these kind of southern blue collar type of characters. He's very known for. But his president, you can call him a little Trumpish, but he's far more sophisticated and, say, intelligent than Trump would be, and some of the characters, actor Jessie Plemmons plays the kind of the white guy with the red sunglasses. Hamilton was fascinated with that. The only thing that having him in the movie, I know him, like Kirsten Dunst is the lead actress in this. They're married. So in real life, so I was like, okay, here's a husband and wife team. Am I gonna buy them as they're opposing? They're not. Well, she's the main photojournalist, and she has to be neutral, and he's obviously kind of possibly. I would paint him as kind of a red state right wing kind of character,
right? But they just had so much in there.
Yeah.
With the veteran photojournalist,
Yeah.
and the
newbie, right? It's a story
And
about
it's like, well, I have to teach this person,
Mm-hmm.
but also because I'm older and I have more experience.
Uh-huh.
But then the person who is younger has many other ideas, and
Okay.
well,
Like
here's
new
how
ideas or
here's
something
how
like
we
that, a
can
new
do
thing.
this,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just, there was so much going on in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
so much misdirection, as well as, well, what is this person going to do now to achieve this?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just,
It was very compelling. It was interesting. It was,
Yes.
you're in it. You bought in. You felt for the characters. You
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, just Kirsten Dunst as that dead-eyed journalist, which is like contrary to how she looks. You
Right.
know, especially. You know, I mean, she's had an interesting career. I think one of the things that kind of like fascinated me, her in this part. I always think of her, the cult movie classic Bring It On. You've seen Bring It On, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hilarious comedy. And you think that bubbly cheerleader type, and to put her in this role was like a
Yes.
really interesting casting choice. And she does a great job in it.
yeah.
So you're thinking, oh, the bubbly cheerleader, and then to see her, she's older, and she
Yes.
still has that kind of like girlish face, but it's
Yeah, I
definitely
was going to say
older
she still has a girlish
face,
face,
but you know, definitely, yeah, it's been 20-something years since Bring It
Yes.
On. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to place her in a film like this. And if you look at her career, she's always done like really interesting movies. Even Bring It On is an unusual movie that takes a different twist than most movies would take. So it's, it made me think back. She's had a really interesting. She takes really interesting roles and choices.
Yes, and I thought
considering her look should be like Hollywood,
yes,
movie star,
but I thought that the director and or
Yeah.
writers did such a really good
Yeah.
thing, because when they were having the Civil War, I was wondering, okay, they have soldiers on both sides.
yes, yeah.
This is going to be, how is this going to work?
And they don't like
And
they
then-
don't really identify them. You kind of like project your own
Right. But
what side they are on.
when I finally found out that California and Texas were together in this Civil War, I said, wow, well then they should win, because those are the states that
Biggest
have
states?
the most military
Oh, okay.
in them. And I said, okay, so that's why this one has jets
Well-
and this one has the helicopters, and
Well-
they'll have all the equipment. And then just the way they wrote it and the way they started doing it was just like, well, wow, then this is happening. This is going on.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's creating the war zone and what it's
Yes.
like to be in a war zone.
Yes.
It does a really good job of placing you in there and thinking about
Yes.
what it might be like. And yeah, I think this movie, if you go in looking for it to be specifically about a civil war in present day or future present United States, you're going in for the wrong reason. You're
Yes.
not. That's not what the movie is about.
Yes.
It is about the characters, and it's about their position as photojournalists and observing the situation and what it takes to be
Right.
somebody covering a war.
Yes.
And it's about war, the hell of war, and the
Right.
craziness. It is about that, but it's not about. Yeah, if you're hoping they pick sides and that's why they're fighting for that, you don't watch
Forget
this
it.
movie. Yes,
Forget it.
But you'll be missing a really, really great story that's
Yeah.
very well told, very well filmed, very well executed. I really, really love this movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I consider it a classic.
Yeah, you end up feeling for both sides.
Yeah.
If somebody was killed or if something happened, or if a
just
trap,
that it's a
just
horrible
like,
that
oh my God,
that why are we all shooting each other up? you know,
Yeah.
it's like, why are we doing this? Why can't we just talk so we're not, blowing each other up and You can't travel from one town to the other. You got to worry about who you're going to run into and what they might do, and the tension is like, what side are they on? What are they going to think of you? If you roll into town, and
Yes.
are they going to do something to you? Are they going to let you pass? It's a really compelling movie.
It really is. It really
So,
is.
yeah. I think like I said, there's people who don't like it. It's got like a 7.2 rating. I was like, I think it's higher than that.
I thought it was
higher than that. But like I said, I think if you go in looking for one thing, like for this to be really about America fighting itself within a true civil war, then you'll miss a lot, and you'll not enjoy this movie, and kind of miss that personal story that it's telling about the two, one photojournalist kind of passing the torch to the next one, and it's not a pleasant.
No, it is.
It's not. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be in that position, but some people, kind of thankfully, you do have those people out there willing to do this, so we can know what's going on in the world in these kind of very horrible situations, and see the reality of it, and see the horribleness of it, so we can do something. And hopefully, like, you got me thinking, it's like we got to talk to each other.
Yes.
Us with opposing views. It's like we can live together and have opposing views. We've done it for 250 something year. How old is the United States now? God, it's coming up to the 275 years.
275, I believe.
Coming up to it. So, anyway, that's Civil War. I paid for it on home streaming. I'm not sure where it's going to end up streaming. What streaming channel is it? Do you have any final thoughts on this movie?
Just go see it, and
stream it.
Don't go in with.
Yeah, don't go in looking for. It's a personal story about photojournalists. Don't expect it to explain the Civil War.
Right.
What's going on and why everybody's fighting. It's just war as hell, and it's a hell of a job. I wouldn't want to be a photojournalist, which is why I'm not. But God bless those people who are willing to, go through that to.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's not shoot each other up, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's not get there. Please.
Let's have fun.
Let's have fun. Let's party like it's 1999.
Ah, yes.
All right, we out.
We out.
We out.